A good old saying is, people's opinions don't matter. Don't ask people for their opinions. Do what you love. That is a very good quote. And I don't think it's have been dive as deeply as so than what I'm about to say right now. And some of it has, but not all of it. Usually when people say people's opinions don't matter, do what you love, is usually the people around you, people you're asking, their opinions generally don't matter. If I'm doing a clothing brand and I ask my friend who's in software and another one who's a contractor and another one who's this about brand identity, and they all are building their own company, I can maybe ask them all like, oh, for brand identity, you want to make sure this looks good, this looks good. They'll all give me roughly about the same answer, right? Because that's the most generic thing for any brand, right? But if I ask them for how to make if this design clothing looks good, they're going to be obviously the customers that buy it if they wear these type of clothes. So maybe their opinion does matter, but in retrospect it doesn't, right? Because they don't create it. They're just going to look at it and buy it. And if other people are wearing it, or depending on why they're buying it, people usually buy it because of the fabric, the craftsmanship, or because someone else is wearing it. So you have to figure out, obviously, which opinion you're getting it from, right? And sometimes the general public doesn't matter. If you're building an AI software, you want to go someone who's built an AI software and understands these things and how to put it out there to the public. If you're doing a clothing brand like me, you need to the advice you want to go to is someone who does design in college or whatever it is, someone who knows how to draw, someone who does inspiration like mood boards, someone who knows how to sew and knit and all this kind of stuff. Those are the people you want to go to when you're asking for opinions, or someone who's in business who's gone so far building a brand, how to put your brand out there to tell a story, right? You want to go to a book author when it comes to asking them like, hey, how do I convey this? How do I put this out there through typography? You go to a photographer, how do I put this out there for imagery, right? What are the good skills I want to show? And even each and every one of those things, some photographers do things differently, right? There's photographers for physical products, not like models, right? It's a whole different section, right? So the generic stuff, you can go to the generic, like a photographer. What are good ways I can look for photographers? That's a good generic thing. But like, what is a good way to convey a story through the clothing brand and this and this? And if they don't know how to do that, because maybe they create stories through like services, right? Like how to help people, but they're not doing it on how to like create a storyline. They're not gonna be the right person to ask, right? So you need to go to the right people, and the right people will give you the right answers. Now when it comes to the designs I do, I'll ask my friends or whoever is like what they think to get a general idea of what they think, but that doesn't matter, to be honest, because like if you created the most crappiest thing in the world, right? Crappiest hoodie in the world, and it just doesn't look good, and the whole world is gonna hit on it. You and probably 1,000 other people are gonna really like it, right? You and 1,000 other people are definitely gonna like it and buy it, right? But at the same time, that's where you get better, right? When no one buys, okay, why did no one buy it? And then you ask the opinion, or you even go look at yourself and see like, okay, what didn't work here? What was the thing? And sometimes you don't have that vision to understand it so early on, so you go to the people who do know. A great example is Virgil. A long time ago, did like a schooling thing. I can't remember what it was, but it was basically like a quick mentorship in a YouTube video. You can find it on YouTube right now, and what he did was, and what he said was to this kid is, there's so much going on. You should focus on this. This is a really good idea. Boom, boom, boom. This and the other. And Virgil gave him his fashion brand, business mindset, designer information. So his opinion freaking mattered. And this kid, I think they say is his prodigy, or maybe that's just how he titles his YouTube videos. And this guy makes 30 mil in 1 year, or I think off of one drop. I can't remember what it was, off of taking some of Virgil's advice. And he said, if I didn't take his advice, I would have known. But you wouldn't take that advice from someone, like I said, who's a contractor or a doctor, right? They may have give you really good advice out of nowhere, or like for generic stuff. But for what you're in, the niche that you're in, if they don't have the experience, or they haven't worked with people in this area, which I guess is the experience in it, they're not going to give you the right information. I think you need to look at who are you being around with. And for me, I'm trying myself as much as I can to put myself in areas that have just like sewing kits, right? Because someone is going to hop in there and start sewing, and I can maybe start a conversation with them, or someone who's designed a brand before, or go to a marketing agency that focuses on clothing brand, and see what their stuff is like, and see who they know, what they know, what are like. I didn't know I need these type of manufacturers. I didn't know I need this many manufacturers, right? And they tell you, right? And maybe you don't have to sign with them, maybe you don't have to do anything, but you know they'll still give you some valuable information for you to take and go with. So people's opinions don't matter. They never will, except for yours, because if you genuinely like it, that's all that matters. And the people that people that you look up to, they admire, that are in that space, that you can try your best to ask to, right? If it's someone you have with arm's reach that you can go ahead and ask, or someone you really got to reach out to 1,000 times, or you know, whatever it is, like those opinions of people, or those people's opinions matter, right? But even then, after, even like you can get the same level of them, a little bit below, and sometimes they'll give you advice to, you know, keep you down there. So like their opinion really doesn't matter. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like you really have to weigh out your options. Like, is this person the right person to ask? I stopped showing certain people certain things because it doesn't make sense to show them. It doesn't make sense to ask them, and it just wastes time. And I've catching myself like start saying things to certain people like, why did I say this to them? Did I need to say it? Did I feel like I needed to boast? Did I need to make myself look good in someone's eyes to feel good? Like, why am I asking people's opinions, or why am I showing these things? Maybe I'm not asking for their opinion, but they're like, oh my God, you're looks like you're working so well. That's their opinion. Was I looking for that? Was I searching for that? Was I yearning for that? I think that's what you also need to look at when it comes to like, just in general, speaking to people. And it's just, will this person's input affect my output, right? And if you're asking a doctor how to design a shoe, his input is not going to help your outcome. But if you ask a designer or a shoemaker, they will definitely help your outcome. So just use the same words you would give to somebody, give it to somebody else that doesn't matter with their opinion, then go to somebody else, right? So that's all I have to say. Appreciate you guys for watching, and yeah, see you later.